has more than one royal family.
Welcome back to another episode of Wrestle Dads. I'm Chip. These are my boys, Alex and Parker. On today's episode, we have a very impressive guest. Not only is she an actual physician, but she is a freelance and live music photographer and professional wrestling photographer. Currently working with bodyslam.net, Dr. Amber Nicole. Welcome to Wrestle Dads.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We're honored. Thank you for coming on. So one of the main reasons we started this podcast was to help my sons, Parker and Alex here, who want to be wrestlers when they're old enough, and anyone else who might listen an outlet into professional wrestling. We love talking to people who love wrestling and figured out a way to be involved in it. So, as mentioned, you're an actual doctor. That is a very impressive feat to accomplish, but also you do wrestling photography. Can you tell us a little bit about how that came about? Were you always a fan of both wrestling and photography? What made you decide to get into photography while also being a doctor?
Well, so I come from kind of a family of wrestlers. My dad and my uncle were wrestlers. My mother was training, but like very briefly to be a wrestler. She had been watching wrestling since, oh God, probably 15 or 16. Um, and so my parents met at wrestling. I was born into it. I have pictures of, wrestlers holding me as a baby. So I just wanted to get involved in whatever way I could. I kind of dabbled in photography when I was a kid. Like there are pictures that I've taken at shows with like a disposable camera. I think it was Sting versus Vader was one of the WCW house shows. There's like one of those pictures on my Instagram, and it's hilarious because you could tell I'm a very small person taking this photo because of the angle of the photo. Um, and I've always liked photography. I like to capture something in the moment. And I was highly involved in music. I'm a musician as well. And so I would take photos for my friends' bands so they could use for promotions. And I kind of got into live music photography in my like late teens, early 20s. And I stopped watching wrestling about the time WCW went under, and kind of like watched it sporadically. Like I'd watch TNA. I never watched WWE. Sorry for people who were fans of that. I've just recently started watching it because I'm very butthurt about the whole WCW thing. So I started watching again when Sting came back because that's been my childhood hero. So Sting came back and I started watching wrestling again, and I ended up like attending some shows with some friends who were like, who actually are part of Body Slam. And they're like, hey, can you help me cover this indie show? Just take pictures on your phone. I'm like, great, yeah, I'll do that. And then I realized like I have kind of an eye for it because I've watched it growing up and I really do love it. And so I started getting into just kind of collecting equipment and getting to know my camera and getting to know my lenses and going to shows and just taking as many pictures as possible. And I just kind of got hooked on it and started doing that for about probably almost 3 years now, like seriously. And things just kind of went.
I love it. So you kind of sound like me as a wrestling fan. You were into it, and then WCW kind of went under, and then you fell away from it for a while. And you said Sting is the main reason why you came back. So you're a big AEW fan.
Yeah. So I owe AEW a couple of things. Like one, bringing back my love for professional wrestling. I do watch WWE now. I did not do that in the past. So then I owe them to giving me back my love for wrestling because they brought my childhood hero back. But then they've also were the first major wrestling promotion to give me a chance as a photographer for body slams. So I kind of owe them on both. And that's why they're my favorite too.
I love it. I did not know that is why you were working with Body Slam. So congratulations, kudos. That's awesome. To piggyback up a couple of things, you said you used a disposable camera as a kid. So the reason why I'm bringing this up because my children are used to this digital stuff. So have you boys ever seen a disposable camera? A camera that you're made to throw in the garbage before? No. So like that's why I had to bring that up because they've never even heard of it. I remember the disposable cameras where you had to hold the button for the flash and all of that. Like it's just
You
amazing.
could like advance it, all
Yeah.
of that. Yeah, no, that was like the cheapest way because my mother, she had a camera, but it wasn't like a very good one. And she's not going to hand a 9-year-old a camera that's expensive. So here you go. Here's a freaking like Fuji disposable camera.
Yeah. Sometimes when we do our like YouTube channel and stuff, I let them record and I'm a little nervous about it with holding my phone and the camera, but sometimes I don't know if parents would just let go. I think we'd be all right. And you said you're a musician. What instruments do you play?
I play pretty much whatever you can put into my hands. Like I've played guitar in a band before. I played bass. I kind of messed around on drums. I actually got through college on a music scholarship because I played snare drum in the marching band at UC Berkeley. So just never really like had room for a drum set. So I never really like played drums in like an actual band. But now that I have room, I'd like to try, I guess.
Gotcha. And I can't help but notice you have a lot of looks like diplomas right behind you on your wall. Is that what we're looking at?
Yep.
Do you
There's more.
mind? Oh, wow. Do you mind
There's one
explaining?
missing that's like right here because it fell and I haven't put it back up yet.
Wow.
So
So that would, how many is that, boys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 8 if the other one came back, right? Am I looking at that correctly?
yeah, they're not all diplomas. Like this is my college degree in psychology. That's my medical degree, so my doctor of medicine.
Okay.
That is my residency diploma. So like when you graduate from residency, they give you like a diploma. So there's that over here that you can't see, and like this whole room is just messed up right now. So I'm not going to turn the camera. Sorry. But there's my fellowship degree over there. This is a award that I won, a graduate medical student research award. That's my intern certificate. So when you finish your first year of residency, that's called your internship. That right there is my intern certificate. So that like so there's like some hallmarks, right? So when you finish residency, and I'm just gonna be off camera right here so I could like point.
Good.
So in residency, like you have benchmarks. So the first benchmark is your intern year. You're not like really eligible to have your own medical
Hold on.
license.
You can come back on camera. I think the guests that'll be watching have seen enough. Sorry, I thought it was silly that you were leaning forward the whole time. Go ahead, speak freely.
No, it's okay. So like once you're done with your intern year, like you could technically sit for your last like licensing exam, get your medical license, and you become a resident your second year. So you get your intern certificate, and then that's an award. That's my medical license, and then the others are awards that would be back here.
Like we said in the introduction, very impressive photography and a doctor. Like, how do you find the time? It is crazy. So, I'm gonna pass the mic on to Alex for this next question.
Once you decided photography is something you wanted to do, how long was it before you started working with bodyslam.net, and how did that relationship come about?
Well, Like the main person at Body Slam is he became one of my friends. One of my former friends introduced me to him. And he's been so encouraging. Like when I was taking photos with my phone, he's like, "You have a good eye. You should do this more often." And so it was pretty much immediate. I think that was like September of 2021. And then by like October of 2021, I was taking photos for the site. So, and even if it wasn't like I wasn't happy with what I did, they were very like supportive and just keep trying, keep taking photos. Like I remember like messaging Brainbuster that works at AEW now and like Speedy Photo and asking like, how did you guys get better? Like, what did you guys do? And they both told me just keep taking pictures. Like it seems so silly, but it's true. Like you've learned what you like about the photography, what shots do you want to catch. You learn about the body of your camera, what are your settings. You learn about your different lenses, what lenses work for what. So it really is just taking a bunch of photos. But to go back to the question, it was pretty quickly like afterwards that I got started with the site.
Yeah, I like that. And so it was a good friend that you knew from Body Slam. I'm not going to say like hooked you up, but like, yeah, through him, it was a reference, correct? Is that the best way to say it?
No, he actually is like the editor. He's like the
Oh.
head person at Body
Oh,
Slam.
okay. Right on. That's awesome. And then I'm just going to say practice makes perfect to sum up what you said. You got a good eye, and the more you practice and you take amazing pictures. I love it.
Thank you.
We know, and speaking of some of those, we noticed some of your work on bodyslam.net was during WrestleMania 40 weekend
Mhm.
at multiple shows. So we also got to attend WrestleMania this year. We had an amazing time. We also I think we went to 12 shows in total. So what was that weekend like for you? How many shows did you go to? Did bodyslam.net help you with access to the shows, or did you work directly with these promotions?
It was all through Body Slam. Like Body Slam to photograph WrestleMania itself was incredible. Like that was a really cool experience. But it was very challenging too because only 20 people got to be on the risers. So everyone else was seated in the press box. So it's like literally being nestled in this bird's nest, and you're trying to take photos of people who are, gosh, like so far away from you, and you've learned to get really good at your lenses at that point. That week though, I think I went to 10 shows. I don't think I slept. I think I went to 10 shows. Like even after WrestleMania night 1, I went to a GCW collective show. Has a curse word in it, so I won't say it.
The cluster.
The cluster.
We can say that. We're very familiar with Joey Janela. We were actually at the collective. So you said 10 shows. Did you go to all the WWE shows, or did you go to a lot of the GCW shows?
I think I went to more GCW shows. So the only WWE shows I went to NXT, Stand and Deliver, and then I went to night 1 and 2.
Okay.
And then Friday night I ended up going to Death Before Dishonor. So I covered that. And that was really cool. That's when I was first using my like bigger lens, because they sat us like on the opposite side of the venue of the entrance stage. So I got to kind of experiment with that. But yeah, I went to the most, it was the collective that I went to. I went to that like pretty much like all of Thursday. Went to Murder Mania, which was really cool before Ring of Honor. Murder Mania is it was a show at a skate park. So like they were wrestling like between ramps. It was really cool. Very like, punk rock kind of feel to it. It was,
yeah.
I loved it. That was probably, that and the DDT was probably one of my favorite shows that weekend of the independent scene. And then Saturday, I went to a little bit, and then Sunday I didn't make it to like anything, but I went to WrestleCon that day.
WrestleCon, that was awesome. Who was your favorite that you met through WrestleCon?
I honestly am way too shy to talk to people. So really the only person I spoke to though was Fuego del Sol. He was really cool.
Okay. Yeah, I think didn't he just do World on Lucha with Gringo Loco through GCW? Fuego del Sol?
I think so. I think he's just finishing up a Japan tour as well.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I know these guys, they finish their match, then they're on the bus going to another state or jumping on a plane and going to another country. It's crazy. Yeah, we went to a lot of the collective shows ourselves. Seems like we just missed. I was trying to figure out, did you go to Bloodsport or DeFi or Progress?
I didn't go to DeFi or Progress because my plane was delayed.
Right on.
So, well, I think, wasn't that Wednesday?
I think DeFi was the first show on the board at 11 a.m. Thursday morning.
I was on a plane. And I think Progress was the one that was on Wednesday. There was one that was on Wednesday that I really wanted to go to, but I had to work that day, and I went and covered AEW in Worcester as well. So I flew in. It was
Worcester,
horrible
Ohio?
weather. What's that?
In Ohio?
No, Massachusetts. I'm based in Boston.
That Worcester. Gotcha. All right. So there's only 20 people were allowed on those risers. I mean, that's got to make you feel good that you were one of those 20, right?
Oh, I wasn't on the risers. I was in
Oh, you weren't? Oh, you were up in the. Oh, gotcha. I thought you were saying so only 20 people were on the risers. Sorry, so we'll scratch that.
I don't even know how you got picked. So it's weird. Like, so when you go in, you get a badge. And so actually, give me a second. I might be able to show you the badge.
Yeah, take your time.
If I can find it, because it fell. There we go. So, sorry, this is weird.
All right.
So you go up, you get your badge in the, you go through kind of operations because they have to like check your bag and everything. So you get one of these, and it was, so apparently this is first time, or I don't know. It was the first time I've done any big event for them. So you get this, and it's orange. It'll say risers, and there's a green one that says press box. And so if you got that, you got to go to the press, like the presser afterwards, like the media scrum. And then if it's press box only, you only got in the press box. You didn't go to the media scrum. And it was like you had 2 passes, you had one for Sunday, one for Saturday. So this is in my collection now. I think that's pretty cool. But I don't know how you got picked for being on the risers versus like going to the media scrum. I don't understand how that worked. It seemed like it was pretty random, but maybe it was like bigger name photographers maybe have got on the risers. That's fine by me. They don't know me. It's the first time I've worked an event for them. So I really didn't have any hard feelings. It was just Saturday. It was so cold and windy that the windows were closed. So the windows were like, you could open them and you could take clear shots, but Saturday they had it closed. And so my pictures from Saturday were kind of like weird and pixelated because I was trying to shoot through the window, like the closed window. So you were shooting through glass, and that's going to distort a little bit your pictures. So it was kind of sad, but like still be happy you're there. You're trying. It's actually trying to like push your skills to the next level. And I try to look at the positives when I come across a situation like that. That's kind of frustrating. It's like, okay, you want me to do this, but you're not allowing me to do it to the best of my ability. So
yeah, not to cut you off, sorry. We can contest to how cold it was. We were there. The boys were sitting there struggling. This one I thought he had frostbite. He had really bad chapped lips. How cold was it in Philly for WrestleMania?
It was like very, very cool. I'd say like 30, maybe even 20 degrees. I'm just like, how are these wrestlers not freezing?
That's a great question.
Because They're moving around, so whenever you move, it causes body heat.
Yeah, I was hearing that they were putting heaters around the ring too, so like there'd be a little bit more warmth for the wrestlers.
Right.
I hope.
And
That
then
was
when we went to the Super Show, March Hitchcock, while we were out there, and we watched Speedball versus RBD. I seem to keep constantly bringing this match up. It was that good. But we got to walk close underneath those lights, and I looked up and I was like, "Holy cow! This is what they feel when they're wrestling. No wonder why. Like it is warm with all them lights shining down on that ring. It's like almost like sitting inside of a microwave, but it was freezing, and that's awesome. Like, congratulations. Thank you for showing us that pass. I didn't even think anything like that, and you came up with that on your own. So thank you. Parker?
absolutely. I was just looking over here at like some of the I this whole area is like where I keep my wrestling collection, but it's like so messed up right now because I need to like redo things. So I was just like, oh, I hope I could find that pass because this whole room is like under construction.
Yeah, no worries. I controlled chaos is our life of Wrestle Dads. I'm in the middle of a move right now, so it's like I got stuff in boxes everywhere. So where you see us right now is where you're going to see us. I'm not moving the kid. So I feel you. So Parker, take it away on this next one.
Other than bodyslam.net, have you had any other photographs published with other wrestling media outlets, or is there any publications you would really like to be published in?
That's a good question. I would love to be like in like PWI. That would be great. We have a pretty good working relationship with Fightful as well. We have some writers that work for both. I would love to publish with Fightful if Sean would have me. I don't know if that's going to be a thing, but or ever. But I've never published with any other like media outlet. I have had people ask me, but like I'd rather work with people that have a good working relationship with Body Slam because like I'm very loyal to my friend. Like he was been, like I said, very supportive. He's pushed me to do better, pushed me to be a better photographer, has, helped me get these opportunities. Like I would never want to ruin that relationship. So whoever it is, it would have to be someone that would have a good working relationship with the site that I'm already on.
Great answer. I love it. So PWI and Fightful are your goals.
That'd be cool.
I love it.
I mean, I've also had like a lot of
PWI
wrestlers share my work too, which is always like such an honor to have the person that you photograph think that that photo is so cool that they use it for promotion on their social media websites.
Yeah, that's awesome. PWI, that's a great goal to have. If you get in that, you're doing something well. So that's awesome. So while doing photography for a company, what kind of access do they usually grant you? Do you get to go in the ring and backstage, or are they pretty strict on where you're allowed to go?
They're pretty strict. Like, if you are shooting like an indie show, you are behind the crowd, and you can move around, which is cool. So that's access you don't get with the bigger companies, is you get to kind of move around, but you're never backstage, you're never like ringside because that's for their photographers, and that's fine. That's totally fine. Like I will honor whatever it is. I'm just a visitor there. When you're shooting for bigger companies, you're shooting from your seat. So like AEW, you shoot from your seat. You don't go backstage. You don't go on the floor. You do not ever go on the floor. That is for their photographers. So there's no ringside, there's no floor access, but they give you good access. You're usually sitting where production is sitting, so you have a good view. You'd be able to get good shots. They've been very good to me. And the only time you get to like be a part of recording interviews or doing interviews or like asking questions is during media scrums. So once and it's only for pay-per-views. So like once a pay-per-view is over, then you go backstage escorted by, whoever the media representative is, and then you go into the media room. That's it. And then I joke that they're so strict at access, but then when you're done, it's kind of a free for all. It's like, thanks for coming. Now find your way out. And that's going to be like the next update to AEW Fight Forever, how to get out of the media scrum. That's and you have to like ask different people, and they're like, I'm just a contractor, and then you have to like fight someone, and then you finally find someone that knows how to get out, and you win that part of the game.
Now, does AEW comp these seats, or do you have to pay for your own personal seat?
They comp them. You're a guest when you're there, so that's nice. That really helps to be able to attend more events and cover more. Is that they comp the seats.
Awesome. Hold on one second. Producer's chiming in with a question. Were you at the CM Punk scrum?
I was not. I was not. Oh, I'm so glad I was not. That would have been bad.
Oh, you didn't want any part of that.
I wanted no part of that.
Oh,
That is
really?
some drama that I'm like, you can have it. I'm done. Nope.
Yeah, fair enough. I got you there. That was the question. He chimes in every once in a while, let me know if the mic's not close enough to my mouth, or he comes up with a great question while the guests are talking, and that lit up. So you, just to clarify, you were not anywhere near the CM Punk issue. Perfect. All right, Alex.
There's some of your favorite moments you have gotten to experience live while working.
Oh, that's a good question. Let's see. I would have to say for WWE WrestleMania Night 2, when the Undertaker's gong hit. That was everyone, all decorum goes out the window when that happened, and every single person in that press booth became a fan and was screaming their heads off. And trying to keep your camera focused while you're like freaking out yourself was interesting. So that was a really cool moment. Sting's last match, I got to be there and cover that, and to be in the media scrum when he was there. That was amazing. And I think those are the two big ones. Oh, Will Ospreay's first match for AEW at Revolution. That was against Takeshita. That was amazing. Like super, super cool match to be able to photograph.
Wow. So just to make sure my notes are correct, we got Night 2, Undertaker. We got Sting's last match, which I want to say was in North Carolina, correct?
Bro, yeah.
And then Will Ospreay versus Takeshita's first match at AEW Revolution, right? You said?
Yeah, same show.
Wow. Oh, yeah. Was Sting's last match. You're correct.
Mm.
Sorry, I like to try to keep notes, and then I'm going to put it in a portfolio for the kids. We're all trying to, like, this is a great platform into wrestling. Like, this is awesome. Parker.
Have you ever been taken out or accidentally hit by a wrestler while taking an action shot?
No, which is great. I'm not ringside, so it is the only time I would be concerned what is like at an indie show. So there was like this brawl outside of the ring when I was like, I think it was my first chaotic wrestling show. And I literally was standing there like, holy crap, what do I do? Because all of a sudden there's like wrestlers at my feet. They didn't take me out. They were at my feet. I like look over at a security guard. He's like, come here. I'm like, yes, sir. And I went running towards him. But not taken out. I could have easily been though.
Wait, I got something to say that. So at the GCW shows, there was no guardrails, and whenever the wrestlers were coming to us, like their security was like, y'all guys might want to move. And they were like protecting us whenever the wrestlers were like fighting or coming at us.
Mm-hmm. That they will be very, very good at guiding to try to get people to be safe. I know at GCW what I'll do is I'll like kind of move and triangulate. So if they're over, like let's say like they're here, I'm across. They move over here, I try to move over here. So you try to like triangulate so you're not in the direct way if you can. That's at least what I do for them or when I'm at their shows.
I'm just surprised. I'm surprised that none of the security guards have got hit. Like if somebody's
Mhm.
doing a moonsault from the top rope, I'm surprised they don't get hit.
No, Parker,
They
I'm
just block
pretty sure
people.
they've gotten hit before, but I think they're like tough. Like they could take a hit from a wrestler.
A lot of times the security are wrestlers or like they're training to be wrestlers if
Right.
it's like a small promotion. So they know how to take a hit if they have to. Like my friend was actually just on, he was doing what's called extra work. So extra work is when you're a wrestler and you're hired by a major company to like fill a role that only a wrestler can do, right? So he was a security guard. So he was in two parts of a segment. He was like security trying to hold like Cody Rhodes back. And then at the end, he ended up getting punched in the face by Cody Rhodes because he was
What?
fighting security.
Oh, gotcha.
So every single person that knows him was like trolling the crap out of him by sending him lyrics to Cody Rhodes' song where it was adrenaline in my soul. Jordan got punched by Cody Rhodes. So now
love
he
it.
say that that's on his resume. He got punched in the face by Cody Rhodes.
So this next question actually just came up on the fly here. What's your dream spot? Where would you like to shoot during a wrestling show? Like where would you if you had to choose your spot that you were going to be for a 3-hour show to photograph, where would you want to be?
So I've never shot actual ringside. So that would be cool to like get an experience to be able to actually shoot ringside. If not, I'd like to be on the floor and be able to move around behind the rows of like seats and get different angles. Not just really be in one spot. So that's something that I would love, but like it would be so cool to be able to like shoot ringside.
Oh yeah, we've been ringside a couple of times, and it's amazing that these wrestling companies let us get so close to the ring. Like we've actually sat in the ring for a GCW show and watched Jeff Hardy do a 2-hour like warm up band concert. You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah, that was like last August.
August, correct? Yeah, out in Detroit,
Mhm.
and yeah, that was after a GCW show, and that like we just went to Altoona and they were letting us get right down the ringside. We watched them take the ring apart. We could see like all the boards that the ring's made out of. Like it's awesome that they allow you to get so close. So I can imagine you with your camera being ringside. You could take amazing pictures.
It would be good. It's a skill. You have to basically learn how to like shoot below the ropes. It really like boggles my mind when I see ringside photographers put their camera in the ring or get up on the apron and like shoot pictures. It's like stay below the ropes, stay below the ropes. That's like rule number one, below the ropes. Don't get in the way. Don't get in the fans' way. Don't get in the wrestler's way. Just stop. But like it's definitely a skill and it's a skill I've never like gotten to hone. So that would be super cool.
This is Peppa. Sorry, she tends to join almost every podcast that we do. Alex?
What brand of camera do you use, and what made you want to choose that one?
I use a Sony camera. And I used it because I picked it because it's really user friendly. So like when I'm getting to know my body, because it's really, so the body of your camera is the actual camera, and then the lens, of course, is the detachable part. So your lens would be like this. So that's your lens. This is the part right here that goes on the camera, and then that's the lens part. So really like you want to get a body that you know, and it was really easy to get used to this camera. It's a Sony Alpha 7 III. I'm saving up to get the Alpha 9 III because it has the global shutter. So hopefully I'll be able to get that, within the next few months. We'll see. But that's why I picked that one, because I know that like if I get to know my body, what's gonna get me the good shots is mostly gonna be my lenses. So I wanted to focus on something that I could learn easily so I could learn lenses better.
Makes sense. Thank you. Parker?
What is your personal favorite work you've shot before?
Oh my God. I want to say it's a tie between the MJF, like it was the MJF Kenny Omega collision match. And I shot him coming out, Kenny Omega coming out in his Manon cosplay. And I caught him doing like the Manon pose. And that was, I have it like on my wall over here. And I just love it. If I could find it quickly on my IG, I could show you. That's one. The second one is what I caught. This is it actually.
Oh, right on.
So I caught that, and then the second one would be the Broad entrance that just happened at Double or Nothing. So I got to capture that, and it's literally looks like he is on fire.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
And
So
then this
now,
is
how far away were you from with that?
I was so you know how the stage is like there's the walkway, there's the stage. I was kind of like in the middle of where the ring is, down like I was maybe row like 9 in the lower bowl part. And so I was like fairly far away, like to capture that on like a standard lens, like you wouldn't be able to capture that. So what I used is a lens that is like ginormous. I actually jokingly call it bazooka because it's just massive. And it's the focal length is 200 to 600. And so it is a giant lens. Let's see. Actually, I have my backpack here. Usually keep my gear in my office just to show you. That is bazooka.
I love it.
So focal length is like how close you can zoom in, basically. So I'm able to get really, really close. And I joke like I can read your thoughts. That's how close I can get with that lens.
It looks like you could read somebody's thoughts with those. So MJF Kenny Omega, my producer that you met earlier, he's a huge Kenny Omega fan. I'm a huge MJF fan, so that's awesome that that's one of your favorite shots. Now, is that on Twitter for people to see?
It's on Twitter. It's also on my Instagram, which is the same handle, just Amber Nico photo. But you should be able to find it. I usually post them on both, so you should be able to find it there too.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it. It's work that I like. It's so funny. Like I tell people, I'm like, you're not going to take pictures and be good. Like at first, you're not going to do work that you are proud of. That's okay, because the idea is that you continue to try and you continue to learn, and then you'll get better. It's just like wrestling, right? You're not going to step in the ring as a wrestler and be the best in the world. Like, here's my first day of wrestling school. I'm the best. No, like you've got to work on it. You're going to work on your style. You're going to work on your presentation. You're going to work on your technical skills. You're going to work on your promo skills. And then little by little, you get better. It's like that in anything in life, and photography is no different.
Yeah, I agree. So enough about wrestling. We notice you do photography for musicians and at concerts. What are some cool, memorable moments you've gotten to experience while working at a concert and or festival?
So I don't work for like so when you do like shots for big bands, you have to work for some sort of media outlet that does that. I don't. So I've never really gotten a chance to do much with that. I usually like shoot my friends' shows. So like it was really cool to go to Dark Side of the Con. It's Dark Force Fest now. Sorry, Dark Force Fest, which is like every year in New Jersey. I have friends that play that all the time, and so I got to like run around that convention, which was like I guess that's basically a festival, but it's inside. I got to run around and like photograph a lot of my friends' bands and got to like kind of get used to what the lighting would be, and again, how to work with my body, how to work with my lenses, that how to work in the crowd with the crowd. That was really cool. I would have to say there was one experience that I got probably 2009, I want to say. Green Day was doing this
What?
like right. So Green Day was doing this like thing for the Idiot Club where they're like one show out of every tour for the Idiot Club, they picked one Idiot Club member to shoot as a photographer for the first 3 songs, because usually only get to shoot for the first 3 songs unless you're like their photographer. And so I got it. I got it for the Mountain View, California show. And I was shocked. I was happy. I had a crappy camera, but I didn't care. I was going to try. And I got to shoot the first 3 songs in the like little like pit that's between the stage and the barrier.
Yeah.
You'll see photographers running around. I got to do that. So that was probably the coolest thing I've gotten to do music wise, other than I got to shoot on stage at like at Gilman in Berkeley when it was the Redemption 87. It was a band that like Jade Puget from AFI was in, and Eric Ozine from the Nerve Agents was in it as well. And I got to like get Eric and Jade's permission to stand on the stage at Gilman and shoot all these shots. So like there's some on my Instagram that I shot that was like super cool. So I have like a dog pile picture. I'm just like trying to scroll through and see if I can quickly find it. But it's like towards the end of my Instagram thing. But yeah, I got to do that. That was cool. So I mean, there's a couple of cool like live music moments.
Yeah, I love Green Day. You got my attention immediately when you said that. 2009. Where was that, if you don't mind me asking? And located
their-
was that like the
their
location?
discography or whatever.
Yeah, like you said, like were you at a show?
Yeah, it was like it was
Like what state? Like what city and state?
California.
In California. Sorry, I don't know why my brain messes with me sometimes. That's what I was trying to say the whole time. Where was that show at?
Yeah,
And
it was in Mountain View. It was in, I forgot the name of it back then, but it was in like an arena, like an outdoor arena, like an outdoor, what are those things called? Amphitheater. It was at,
yeah.
it was at an amphitheater. And that was like super cool. I still have like the photo pass sticky. I have that like in a scrapbook somewhere.
That's awesome. Yeah, anything you want to send our way, I'm a big Green Day fan, so anything, DM that to us, please.
I'd have to find it. It's on like a computer that I don't have anymore. So
Oh,
I'm
okay.
pretty sure it's on like a hard drive somewhere.
Fair enough. Well, don't work too hard. I just figured as you brought it up, I was like, hey, if you got these handy, send it our way. Parker?
Do you have anyone in the art world that inspires you when it comes to photography?
Like in the wrestling world?
Well, I guess, are there any artists that inspire you? Like, any artists that inspire you along your way, or that got you started into photography?
I would probably have to say, well, my friend Jackie did photography for live music and she had her own fanzine. She did really good work. I really, really loved what she did. So she was inspiring to me in live music ways. And then like Michael, who's Brainbuster, like I love his work. Scott Lush, I also love his work too. So like I try to like see what they do and then like look at my work, and if I can do something that is like kind of near that level, I know I'm getting better. So it's inspiring to me.
And you said Michael from Brainbuster?
Yeah, he's actually one of the AEW photographers now too.
Okay. I'll note that. Thank you. Alex?
As a freelance photographer in the wrestling industry, what are some of your future goals you would like to accomplish?
I want to do a couple of things. I'm hoping to go to All Out or All in London. So that way I could shoot in another country and I could shoot like a bigger event. That's one. The second is to go to Japan. I'd love to go to Japan and like cover Stardom, cover like Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, Noah DDT Pro, which I am actually like wearing a DDT Pro shirt. So I would love to be able to go there and just cover some events. I've been like trying to learn Japanese to make it a little bit easier on myself and to be respectful, because you shouldn't go to another country that's not English speaking and just demand that they speak English to you. That's just weird to me. So I've been trying to work on that, but it's going
I
okay.
Japanese is hard. I heard that that's one of the hardest languages to learn. If, like, I guess as an American, I guess that would be the proper way to say it. That's one of the hardest languages to learn.
Mhm.
And kudos for you trying to learn that, because I couldn't agree more. We get a lot of wrestlers and, athletes that come to our country and they can't speak English. And I feel like, well, if you're going to live here, at least learn a couple sentences so you can talk to the people that you're performing in front of. You know what I mean? It just adds to that, I don't know, the feeling you get as a fan, you know what I mean? You get on
Mhm.
a common level, they can talk to you, you can talk back. Like, I feel you on that one, and that's awesome that you're trying, because I would try to do the same, but I know Japanese is very hard to learn. So good luck.
Yeah, thank you. I don't think I'm gonna ever be able to fully understand kanji, and that's okay, because katakana here and hiragana. I'm gonna get so many DMs telling me how wrong I am. Those two, like both like symbol things, whatever. My brain is mush right now. I apologize. Um, I'm trying to learn those, and I'm getting better at them. I just know that like kanji is going to be a little beyond me, and that's okay. I can try. That's all I can do.
I know it's a lot of like dialects and like where you put your tongue in your mouth and stuff like that. Like it's very hard for people to do. Like some people can't even roll their tongue simply, and then you got to roll your tongue and talk. And it's like that knocks a lot of people out.
Yeah, it's very nasally too. It's very like up in here when you're speaking a lot of Japanese.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you for disclosing that. This has been a lot of fun. And to wind down this episode, let's loosen up a little bit more and have some more fun. So we have a series of questions just to find out what Amber Nicole prefers.
Oh Lord.
All right. So as a self-described stereotypical spooky girl, do you prefer slasher, supernatural, or psychological films?
Oh gosh. It depends on what day you catch me on. I usually like
Today's Sunday, so what are you watching tonight before bed?
um probably Supernatural. I was just watching like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre film.
Ooh, which
So
one?
it's just Texas Chainsaw. Like it's one of the
Oh.
newer ones that came out that has the same girl that was in We Summon the Darkness. I can't remember her name, but she like looks like one of my really good friends, but she looks like she'd be a horror movie girl, basically. She's got like the really light skin, the black hair, and then she's got like blue eyes. But I was just watching that one, but it literally is just called like Texas Chainsaw. Um, and yesterday I was watching the Exorcism Experiment, which was really weird.
Weird. Yeah,
It was
that's weird.
really so this guy like decided for his theology class he was going to do a experiment where he was going to like do a ritual and get like possessed by a demon and then like record what happens to him and have like a priest like exorcise him and document that as well. I'm like, what? Who thinks this is a good idea? Like, why is this what? And then he finds out like the case he's studying was his mom. Like the mother was the one possessed. That's the case he was studying. And then how like he's the Antichrist. It was weird. I'm like, you know what? I was on board for like 2 seconds, and now I'm not on board. This is just weird. This is a weird movie. I don't like it. So that's fun. I may watch something supernatural tonight, or I may just watch the Celtics game. I don't know.
Oh, right on. Who are you rooting for there? Dallas or Boston?
Boston.
Right on. I'm rooting for Dallas, so
That's
head to
fine.
head there. I hear Luka's hurt for tonight, though, so that might be leaning towards the Boston Celtics heavily there. Last question before I hand it to Parker. What's your favorite slasher film?
Oh, I'm gonna have to say probably Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 Dream Warriors.
Okay. Oldie. What was that, 93?
No, that was like 86.
Oh, man, that's even older than I thought. That's a long time ago.
That's like 80. So the first one came out. Wait, no, it's later. Hang on, it's later. I can definitely Google that. The first one came out in 84, so I don't think it would have been that fast. So let's see, Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Let's see. It came out in 87. I was not far off.
Yeah,
So,
you were pretty close.
look at that.
That's awesome.
Whenever you're talking about horror movies, I'm a big horror guy. I mostly like Chucky, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, and crap, what's his name? Ghostface. I'm a big
Ghostface.
I'm a big Michael Myers and Jason fan.
Those are good movies. Yeah, my grandmother actually. So this is how old I am. Videotapes. My grandmother used to like have a VCR and play the videotape, and then she would like Jimmy rig it to another VCR and like record it. So
Yes.
she had a videotape for me that was Nightmare on Elm Street 1 and 2 and Halloween. And
Aw.
like I was like 3 when she gave it to me, 4 maybe.
Good.
No, not me. I'm not a fan of horror movies. I'm mostly a big Fast and Furious fan. I've watched all of them, and sometimes I still watch the first one.
They're pretty good movies. I've only seen a couple, so I can't judge, but it's pretty good what I saw.
Alex, if you want to start off watching horror movies, watch Chucky until you get to Pinhead, because Pinhead's pretty scary.
That's
off
pretty
with
good. Yeah, I would say so.
Chucky because it's not scary at all. It just kills people with a knife.
Keep talking.
So just start off with Chucky, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, then
I
Jason,
have to show you this.
Space, and then Pinhead.
Freddy Krueger was never scary to me because he always had a line. He always had some comic relief line to say before he killed someone. So I was just like, oh, he's funny, haha. My niece is 7 and she's all into horror movies as well.
Can you see this right here? Little Michael Myers.
I actually can't see anything. I just see your initials. I've been talking to initials.
Oh, you can't see us at all?
I can't see you at all.
How is that? Huh. We see you perfectly, so hopefully give me a second to that's weird. We see you. I don't know why you can't see us. Sorry. I wish you would have said something sooner.
I wasn't sure if that was normal, to be honest with you.
Definitely not. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I thought this would be a lot easier for you, probably, if you could see 2 little kids and myself talking to you.
Yeah, I had no idea. I was just like, okay, this is how it is. I've never done it before. So
Oh, yeah, no, sorry. Skype sometimes gets goofy. Yeah, sorry. If we ever do this again, please let us know. So, Parker.
Who is your favorite wrestler, past or present?
I would have to say, so when I was a kid, before I knew who Sting was, Adrian Street was my favorite. And probably like, I would have to say overall, all time, it would always be Sting. But my favorite modern wrestler, I hope he's back soon, is Kenny Omega.
Right on. Good answers. Yeah, Parker's a big Kenny Omega fan. Our producer is a huge Kenny Omega fan. I actually met him the last time they were in Pittsburgh. One of the last times they were here in Pittsburgh. Met him, got a picture with him. And then
Never
I've always been a fan of Sting. So you got good taste in wrestling. I love it.
Sting is probably one of the nicest human beings I'd ever met. I met him multiple times as a kid. My mom actually went to the gym, his gym that he owned with Lex Luger, which was Main Event Fitness.
Yeah.
So we'd run into him all the time. He's never has not been nice, like inhumanly nice all the time. Like he is the only childhood hero of mine, aside from like Billy Joe from Green Day, that deserves that title. Like he is an amazing human being.
Sting's he's an awesome man. It sucks that he's finally done, but I know he's going to do a lot of good things for wrestling, even though he's not part of wrestling. So I'm anxious to see what he does in 2025. What's that for?
It'll be.
I'm mostly a huge fan of John Cena.
I can't see him, so.
Good answer. I love it. So Alex, you go ahead with the next question.
Simpsons, Family Guy, South Park, or Bob's Burgers.
Oh my God, why did you have to make me pick between like The Simpsons and South Park? That's not fair. Oh my God.
Parker
South-
says, yeah, it is.
South Park.
All right.
That's mean. That's mean, Parker.
South Park's a good answer. South Park's a good answer. We like Bob's Burgers and Family Guy, but South Park, maybe in a year or two, I'll introduce them because that one's a little bit more vulgar.
It's
Vulgar.
It's a little out there for kids, but it's not made for kids, so.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where I'm just waiting a couple more years. But Bob's Burgers isn't that bad. I mean, there's a couple innuendos in there that kind of go over their heads. So like, but South Park's more right in front of your face with it. So I think they'll catch on to some of those. So a couple more years. You wanted to say something? Beavis and Butthead still isn't. That's more stuff that goes over your head.
Yeah, but Beavis and Butthead, that is my personal favorite TV show. It's funny.
Wait, how do you know who Beavis and Butthead is? You're too young.
I'm 9 years old. I'm almost 10. It's not. It's not that bad because I hear my mom swear all the time, and I don't give a living crap.
I watched Beavis and Butthead a lot growing up. I used to like stay up and watch it because it would come on like 10 o'clock at night, and I would always get in trouble. But my mom never gave me a bedtime. She's like, you're gonna learn to go to bed early when you wake up and have to go to school and be tired. So you just learn your lesson.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the old school that you'll learn your lesson by being tired.
It didn't work.
But when it's summer, you can stay up all night.
And I did. Stayed up all night on the phone with my friends watching movies and TV.
I love it. So what's your go-to album you've listened to more than any other?
Sing the Sorrow by AFI.
AFI, okay.
Sing the Sorrow. That is, I was at the record release show when it was a new album in March of 2003. And then I flew out last year in March of 2023 and I saw the 20th anniversary show, which was
awesome.
Super cool. But it was like, I wanted more. I was like, they said they were going to play Sing the Sorrow front to back. They didn't say, and more, and an encore, and a special guest. Like, you got what you got. They played Sing the Sorrow front to back. That's what they did.
I love it. Sorry, Parker.
Breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
Breakfast. Hands down. And I'll eat breakfast for lunch and dinner.
Yes, we love having breakfast for dinner. We call it Brinner. And
Or
Yeah.
brunch.
Or brunch.
It-
Like that's
Mhm.
Because we ate breakfast for lunch.
yeah.
Yeah, somebody's like, you want to go to brunch? Say less.
Yep, say less. What's your go-to breakfast meal?
So I'd probably say blueberry pancakes.
Okay.
Or
How do you
like a
do
chicken omelet.
how do you do your eggs?
I would probably say scrambled with American cheese.
Good answer.
Like
American cheese
scrambled
melts
eggs
better.
without the cheese.
Yes, it does. I like to rip it up in little pieces and then throw it in, and then I add a little bit of milk to fluff it up a little bit, and then it's
Hmm.
they love my eggs.
How
I don't think it's how everyone cooks their eggs. A lot of people like it over easy, sunny side up. They like or dippy. There you go. You gotta say something?
Yeah, if you have shredded shredded scrambled eggs with cheese, I'm gonna eat that thing in under 3 minutes.
So it sounds like you're gonna drink it. You're just gonna be like,
I'll just be like,
no, Kirby.
I'm done.
Down the hatch. Alex?
What is your favorite wrestling match of all time?
oh my god.
It can be live or on TV. If you have one live and you have one on TV, that'd be awesome. Share both.
I'm trying to narrow it down in my mind. So I would have to say live. It's gonna be the Collision title versus streak, MJF and Kenny Omega. So I'll say that. And then recorded, I would have to say Kenny Omega versus which one was that? It was versus El Generico for the DDT Pro World Championship, and it was 2012. I have it on DVD.
Zayn. Sami Zayn.
Mm-hmm. Which no, El Generico is now retired, and he lives in Mexico and he runs an orphanage. It's not Sami Zayn. Wink, wink.
I
Gotta
love
keep
it.
you safe.
I do have an El Generico shirt. I was wearing it around WrestleMania. I was proud to wear that one. Big Sami Zayn fans here. And as soon as you said MJF versus Kenny Omega, he said that was a great match. So
And I got to watch it. Like I was on. It's a good match when you can watch it and you're on the edge of your seat. And it's not all about moves. It's not all about moves. It's not all about doing flips and like choreographic. The story. You have to like watch and be able to like tell a story in the ring too. If you can't tell a story, it doesn't matter. In my opinion, maybe other people think other things, but there's no greater storyteller in my mind than Kenny Omega in the ring.
I kind of have to disagree with you on that. My favorite match live was the brother versus brother no yeet versus yeet.
I think I went to the bathroom during that one. Sorry.
I love it. She's roasting you, bud, and I'm backing her up on it. That's a bad one.
Super kicks and frog splash. That's all you got. That's all you got.
Boo. I'm with Amber on that one. Boo.
It's just there's a hard choice for my favorite match. I'm gonna stick with Kenny Omega. My favorite match of Kenny Omega would be him versus Will Ospreay.
Oh, which one though?
The second one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I
so
believe
the
it was
one last year?
The one last year. What was that at Full Gear?
It was Forbidden Door.
Forbidden Door. Good boy.
Mm-hmm.
He's smart.
That was a good match. That had me like worried that he had broken his neck at some point. He sells so well. He
I
sells so well that you're like, did he die? He's dead. I witnessed a murder.
But my favorite match of all time would have to be on NJPW, the War Dogs versus Will Ospreay's team. That match was just the best.
I need to watch that match. I actually have like a New Japan Pro Wrestling membership, like the subscription. I need to go back and watch that match.
Yeah, you should. It's Will Ospreay's final match under New Japan, and it was a brutal 8-man. Was it 8-man tag? It's like an 8-man tornado tag cage match, and it's worth the watch. It's
I
awesome.
saw the pictures and I was like, whoo.
Yeah, wild things were going on in that match that the producer and I were watching, and we're like, how are these guys not breaking their legs? Like, boards are going flying. I don't want to give too much away. If you got the subscription, it's definitely worth the watch. And Parker
Yeah.
wants to say something else before this final question.
There was some crazy stuff because one guy came out with a whole bunch of steel chairs and like an ammo thing that's made for bullets, but he had forks and the ring was torn apart. Like you could see the wood, and Will Ospreay was just done. Done for.
Yeah, one of the
Man.
bloodier. Bloody. I warn you that. And you're a fan of horror films, so that's right up your alley.
Yeah, it's fine. I've learned that if a Japanese table spot is involved, that's going to be a brutal match because there's only two things that can break a Japanese table: Alex Coughlin's butt and Will Ospreay's face. Those are the only two things that can break a Japanese table.
I love it. And wait till you see Will Ospreay's face during this match. It's a good one.
Poor. That's another thing. People who like emote in the ring, like they give emotions. Like it's so much fun to photograph them.
Yeah. Oh, we love it. And the more you get the ringside, and we're trying to get as many front row tickets as we can, and we just got one for the Cleveland show for GCW, and it's one of the coolest venues I've ever seen. And it's like the front row is an arc, and we're like right at the top of that arc. So it's like probably the best view that you're going to get as a fan, and I couldn't believe we got those tickets. So August 2nd we'll be in Cleveland for front row GCW show. It's going to be awesome.
That will be awesome. I'm looking forward to Bloodsport. I've been like weighing my options on whether or not to go because it's a Sunday and it's in Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brooklyn one. I didn't know if you were talking about that one or the one in Japan. Both of them look awesome.
Yeah, no, just the one that's in the Bloodsport one that's in that's going to be on the 28th of July, I believe it is. 20, yeah. I'm looking forward to going to that. I bought a ticket, like we'll see if I make it there, but because it's a Sunday. If it was a Saturday, I'd be there like no problem. But then I would probably have to like drive back right after that to go to work the next day. And like it's 3.5 hours. It's not awful, but still it's a drive. So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Will Ospreay, he had a whole bunch of ketchup on his face.
Yep. He's a messy eater.
Yeah, he's a very messy eater. All right, so finally, how do you balance everything you do? What advice can you give those who want to do more in their life and take advantage of every opportunity while maintaining their happiness and success?
I don't know.
A laughter is a great answer, but answer the best way you can.
I'm a little crazy. Do what you love and you will figure it out. That's one thing I would say. I found a job where it's not like really strict set hours where I'm there like 9 to 5. It's not like that. Like I can like kind of juggle things around and make it like a heavier day or a lighter day or something like that. So it's very flexible. So that's how I balance my work. And then like I have other obligations, like I round on the weekends sometimes. So I work at the hospital on the weekends. Next weekend I'll actually be working at a hospital in Cape Cod. So it's, balancing, knowing how much you can take on and knowing when you can't take on something. That's the important thing to know. So if you are taking on too much, you're going to get burnt out and you're not going to continue doing that thing. So just knowing your limits and like slowly adding things would probably be the best way to do it. And to make sure that whatever you're doing, you love it. If you don't love it, you're not going to continue to do it. And it's just not worth your time investment.
I love it. Great answer. Do what you love, work the balance, and know your limits. Perfect answer. Perfect. All right. Well, thank you, Amber, for playing. That was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed yourself with that little game. We like to do that with our guests.
Okay.
So thanks again for playing. I hope you had a lot of fun. We always like to wind down the show with a little fun series of questions like that to kind of like ease the pressure. And now would be the time if you got anything going on special for you in the next couple days, weeks, or months, anything you'd like to promote for yourself, feel free.
Well, not really much. There is Forbidden Door. So if anyone is in the New York, Long Island area, please come out. If you're in Boston, there's always Chaotic Wrestling. Chaotic Wrestling's an amazing promotion. And they are run by the same people who run the New England School of Professional Wrestling. There's one Chaotic show on the 28th of this month that will be in Lowell, I want to say. Really good. So if you do want to go there, really good time. And then Wrestling Open, it's every Thursday forever at the White Eagle, and that will be in Worcester. So great things are coming. There's a special show on July 4th that will have Cruel and as well as Alex Shelley and Leo Rush. So
Leo Rush. I like it.
he unretired for the 45th time. So he'll be there.
Yeah, seems to do that. That's funny. It's your sense
He's
of
a
humor.
great wrestler. I just love to that little dig. It's fine. It's fine. He's coming back. It's fine.
He can take it. He can take it. You're
He doesn't
good.
care. It's fine.
Your sense of humor is fantastic. This has been a lot of fun, and thanks again for coming on. And again, you guys listening should go check out Amber Nicole on X or Twitter at Amber Nicole Photo, where she has her link. Oops, sorry, go ahead.
It's Amber Nico. So
Oh, it is Amber Nico. I'm sorry. So AMBERNICO Photo.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, at reading it, it does look like Nicole. The P looked like an L. So Amber Nico Photo. So she'll have her link tree available. You can find everything she has going on, including her photos on bodyslam.net and her Etsy shop. So please do not forget to give her a follow and support everything that she's got going on.
Thank you. Thank you so much for allowing me to come on. It's been really fun. I wasn't really sure what to expect and I was kind of nervous, but it's been fun.
Yeah, like I said to begin, we're doing this. We started this podcast for the kids pretty much. Like the producer and I, we talk about wrestling constantly, and we wanted to give them a segue into professional wrestling. I'm not like how my dad was. I will allow them to wrestle if they want to be a professional wrestler. All right, here we go. This is what you want to do. We're going to get as many segues as we can. You're a professional wrestler, photographer, and you're also a physician. So we thought you multitasking would be a great podcast. And we talked for over an hour. So it seemed like you had a good time and we had a blast. And thanks again for coming on. And I'm just going to plug our stuff and then we'll let you go and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Sounds good.
All right, perfect. And once again, you can find all of our link tree at WrestleDads.com. We got our podcast for Spotify.WrestleDads.com. You can get our YouTube channel at TV.WrestleDads.com. You can get our personal merch that's been hanging behind us all episode at shop.WrestleDads.com. And we are WWE affiliated. So if you see anything that you want to buy through WWE Shop, make sure you go to www.WrestleDads.com first. And the boys have their own little social media segue, so I let them do their plugs.
You can find me at the Boys 890 on TikTok and on YouTube at the Boys 890 Gaming.
You can find me at Parker from WrestleDads, and please punch that subscribe button like I want to punch Dominic Mysterio.
Everyone wants to punch him. Such a beautiful face.
Not me.
All right, perfect. And for all your followers, you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all your major podcast platforms. We're on Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube at WrestleDads Pod. You can go to shop.WrestleDads.com to find all of our custom merch, and you can find everything I just mentioned all in one place at WrestleDads.com. All right, thanks again, Amber Nicole. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Peace.
absolutely.
And all right, well, I think that's all we have for you on this episode of Wrestle Dads. You can follow us on Twitter at WrestleDads Pod. For audio purposes, follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Amazon Podcast, and iHeartRadio. For video purposes, you can find us on YouTube and TikTok. Just search Wrestle Dads. You'll find us. And if you like what you're hearing, please rate 5 stars and hit that subscribe button. Thank you. Peace.
Scissor me!